Hi, I'm Dimitri Metzeltin from Mackie, and I will show you the Mackie Axis digital mixing system. The Axis consists of different components. So we see here the DR32R, or digital rack mixer. We've put in there our Dante card, our optional Dante card. And through Dante we've connected here the DC16, so we have full hardware control over all the mixing functions using the DC16. On top of that, we have now here 3 iPads running with our master fader app. So the master fader app is the next component for this whole system. And I will show you how good all these parts integrate into each other. And the 3 main topics I will talk about is speed, its visibility, and its customization. So I start with the visibility because that's quite obvious. We can hook up to the DC16 up to 3 iPads. So on this 3 iPads I can show different things. Plus we have 26 full-colored backlit screens all around the DC16 showing different information like your view groups, or for every channel we have also our own screen here full-colored showing different parameters that you can choose here. And on the right hand side we then will see our mixing layers, so all the auxes, all the matrices and so on. And sure, we have also the 3 iPads, and on the 3 iPads I can show different things at the same time. And that's also where we talk about customization, because I can myself choose what I want to see on each of the iPads. If you want to adjust that, it's here in the setup. You go to controllers, and here you can really adjust what every iPad is doing, how the iPad reacts to your work on the Axis system. So I go out of this window here again. So the way I've set it up now is that the middle iPad is showing what I'm doing right now. So let's say I've selected the bass drum and I want to change the EQ of the bass drum. I just grab the EQ button right here and I can change the EQ for the bass drum. And it reacts really, really fast, especially using our fat channel here. That's our quick access to the main functions. I can change things very fast. So let's say I want to change the compressor threshold. I just go here and the screen just switches to your compressors, and I can change the compressor right away. And if I go back to the EQs, it just switches back there. So it's really fast and it's really logical the way it works, so it's really easy to maneuver through your whole mix. And actually, talking about speed, as you've seen here, all the functions are never more than 2 steps away. Most of the time even just 1 step and you see the next function and you're working on a certain parameter. Now on the second screen, I've set this screen up 1 step behind. So this means I have a history view here. So on this screen I see what I do right now. On this iPad I see what I've just been doing before. So let's say you've set up your bass drum, and as next maybe I want to adjust my bass guitar. So I select my bass guitar right here, and you will see that the bass drum screen will move over to this iPad. So just like that, you have the bass drum right here now, and I have the bass guitar here, and I can make any adjustments to the bass guitar. Now the great thing about this, and this special example also, let's say you've set up your bass drum, then you're adjusting your bass guitar, but then you notice, the bass guitar is covering a little bit of my bass drum, I need to readjust the bass drum. Well, you still can just go in here and just readjust the bass drum as you like. You even can go 2 steps behind, so you could set up your third iPad to show 2 steps behind. But it's up to you. So what I've done here actually is showing my overview window. So I can also choose one of the iPads to have a fixed mode, so it always shows exactly what I want to see there. So this could be the overview, this could be your main vocal channel or a monitor channel, and so on. So we have full visibility over all the functions. You're very quick, so speed is an issue here, and you can work really fast, and you can really customize everything to your needs. Okay, let's go into the details of the DC16. So we have a lot of screens around here, and I will show you what the different sections do. So let's start here on the left-hand side where we see the view groups. So instead of using preset banks, where let's say you have on the first 16 channels your drums, some guitars or bass guitar, then you have to flip over, you see some keyboards, you see maybe some vocals and the other guitars. We have a thing that's much easier to use, and we call it view groups. So you can create your own view groups. They can consist of any audio channel, but also of the effect returns. You can integrate VCAs, you can integrate your subgroups as well, and you can customize your layers here right away. So this means, let's say I want to see all my guitars. So I have customized one view group called guitars, and if I hit guitars here, and it also reads in the display guitars, because that's the name I've put in. It just flips to the guitars, and I'm looking now at all my guitars, all the faders and the functions that just belong to the guitars. I can also flip over to vocals, to drums, or I even can combine different view groups to create more customization there. So let's say maybe you want to have your vocal view group always on the left-hand side, and then you just flip over on this side the things you want to see there, like maybe the rest of the band, or just the drums, just the guitars. So that's all very customizable here. We also find things here like the mute groups, for example, so you can select your mute groups that you can set up in your master fader app. So that's the section that we have right here, the mute and the view groups. And then we move over to the top here of the mixer. And let's take a look from the left-hand side. So on the first screen always displays the selected channel. So I always know which channel is selected there, and it actually shows up with the same color that I've set up in the iPad. It comes with the icon that I've set up on my on the master fader app as well. And the very nice thing is I even can take photos with my iPad and use them as icons, and they display here as well in all those little displays that we have set up here. So that's very cool. So you have, again, full overview, full control over all the functions. Right now I've set up this to show the panning. So I can change the panning right here, like you would on a standard analog desk, change the panning for the hi-hat, for your shaker, for any channel that you see there. I can also choose to view the high-pass filters, for example, or my sends. And now with the sends, I've selected the bass guitar channel later on for all my sends, but we have two different ways to look at our sends. So right now I'm looking at aux1 for the channels here. So I can change aux1, and it again comes with the same color coding and the same name that I've set up in the master fader app. And I can switch through the aux sends, through all the 14 aux sends that we have here on the Axis system, using the arrow keys on the top. And again, I see the names, I see the same color coding. So this means all the aux sends can be changed right there, like you would on an analog desk. So that's pretty cool there. And as I was saying, there's also a different look at it. So I can also say, okay, I want to see all the sends for one selected channel. So I go to Shift and choose Sends here. And right now I'm looking at the aux sends for the bass channel right now. So this means that I'm just looking at all the 14 aux sends for the bass channel, and I can adjust them right there. I can also look at all the dynamics at the same time, so compressor, gates. I can change the dynamics right here, so choose another compressor, as you might know, and I really also want to suggest that you look at that you watch the DL32 video that we've also done on Pro Audio on the website, because there we explain all the features of the DL32R. So if you watch that video, you will see we have different types of EQs, different types of compressors, different types of gates. So we have vintage and modern, and they really sound different. So the vintage type is an analog compressor in this case, or if we change to modern, then it's more a digital compressor that we're using there. So, but all of that, all the details on that in the DL32R video here on the same website. Okay, so I can recall everything here. I also have my effects, so I can look at my send effects as well. I can also look at the EQs of the output channels, for example, have all the graphic EQs there and work on the graphic EQs using the knobs or the faders. So actually every parameter that we've put in the DL32R using the master fader app can be displayed here on the hardware. I've already explained the fat channel that we have here on top. So this is for a quick access to all the main parameters, so you can work really fast. And then we move over to the right-hand side. So on the top right, we see 3 knobs to change the volumes for the talkback, the monitoring, and the phones. So as I said, we're using a Dante interface here with the DC16. It's a 4-channel Dante interface. So everything you need for the main mix is built into the DL32R. But there are certain things that you want to have as a front-of-house mixer, like headphone outputs. We've put a headphone output on the front actually here, very useful. We have as well a stereo input on the back side, so if you want to play back some music there. We have a talkback input on the back side as well, and a stereo monitor out. So that's what's running there on our 4-channel Dante interface that's built into the DC16, and here we control the levels for that. Underneath that we find our shows section with our snapshots, so here you can recall any of the snapshots that you've set up or also save and store them here. And under this section we find our mixing layers. So as I was saying before, and I can show you right here, we have a total of 28 mix buses. So these are 14 aux sends, we have 6 matrices, we have 6 subgroups. On top of that we have 6 VCAs that you can use, and the 3 effect sends that don't eat up any of the aux sends there. So a total of 28 mix buses that you can use at the same time. And again, if you want to know more about the mix buses and all the parameters and things that you can change there, please check out the DL32R video that we've done here. There's a lot to see there. All these mix buses can be recalled on this side here. And again, they show up with the same name and the same color that I've set up in the master fader app. So that's quite nice. So let's say I want to have aux1 on the faders. There you go. And now, right now I'm controlling aux1 for all the channels here, right? If I want to change aux5, okay, I go to aux5. It's called in-ear monitoring keys, and that's aux5. And there are a lot of nice little details that you see here, because we have an LED that's a multicolored LED that changes the color according to your mixing layer. So right now aux5, I've put a yellow color for aux5, and I've put a pink color now here for aux1. That's called monitor vox. So you have again full control, full visibility over where you are mixing, which layer you are working on. And if you want to see all the other layers, you just tap the arrow keys here and go through your layers right there. Okay, you can also work, apart from having the view groups, you can also work with banks and also shift the faders per channel. So we have the bank keys right here. So you can just move around and you see that the faders are moving, or I can move per channel. So I always suggest to use the view groups, but should you have a view group that consists of more than 16 channels, then you can use the bank or the channel keys to maneuver through your all your channels right there. And you saw when I was switching the banks or switching the mixing layers or the view groups as well, that the faders react really quickly. So we have built-in motorized, touch-sensitive 100mm Alps faders right there. So absolutely roadworthy, long-lasting faders that react really nice. So it's really nice calibrated here. On top of that, we have a 6-segment LED next to each fader showing the input level. We've a 3-segment LED showing your gain reduction. Underneath we have the solo buttons per channel. On top we have the mute buttons, and then we have also select buttons right here. And again, also they show up in different colors, which is quite nice. So even in bad lighting conditions, you always know which channel you're working on. So I've set up this blue color for the bass guitar, but if I change to the drums, for example, I have this pink color. It's the same color that I've set up here in the master fader app, and it shows also in the select button. And for the guitars, I choose purple, because I'm a Deep Purple fan, so I thought guitars should be in Deep Purple, so that's why we have the purple color here for the guitars. But that's all up to you. So also this gives you again a visual response over what you're doing and where you're working. Another great feature of the Mackie Axis digital mixing system is the seamless integration of the hardware work and of the wireless working. So this means that these iPads here can be taken out at any time, so you can also work wirelessly. Right now we see that they are connected, so actually they are charging here. The middle iPad is also working in a wired mode at the same time, so you can work everything in a wired mode, not only wireless if you want, but at the same time I have them running in wireless. So this means I can take out any one of the iPads at any time and just move around in the venue and make any adjustments. So let's say I take out this iPad here and I choose, well, to go to the view here of the mix, and let's say we want to adjust aux 1. So I'm adjusting aux 1 here, maybe I go on stage, check out the monitors. So and if you keep watching the screen, as soon as I put it back in here, it just flips back to the hardware work that I've set up with the DC16. So it just flips back to that view again, and I can just continue working. So to wrap it all up, we have a modular mixing system called Axis from Mackie, consisting of the DL32R with the Dante interface built in. We have the DC16 with the 17 motorized Alps faders. It's an all-steel chassis with aluminium extrusions, so it's really roadworthy. It's really built like a tank, long-lasting design here, with a lot of screens all around. And remember, you're very quick with this. You have a great overview with this, and you can customize anything to your needs. So, like I was saying, you know, every parameter is just 1 or 2 steps away, and you always know where you are and what you're doing using the Mackie Axis system. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to also watch the DL32R video that we did here, so you get even more infos on what you can do with the whole mixing system here. Thanks for watching.